Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem, Racha Kudash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is Be Careful How You Build Upon Another Man's Foundation. And this lesson comes from the inspiration of a video I was watching, Biblical Defenders, the elder Karata Zaba out there in the Baltimore camp, the head of the Baltimore camp. He put up a video called Israelites Who Hijack GMS Doctrine but botches the word charagma to force. I'm not sure what the rest of it is. And pretty much, you know, they got certain things right. And as the elder said, you know, we are the only ones for years that have been teaching that you have Israelites that may look like Edomites, so on and so forth. And they also teach that. And I believe these are the sons of thunder, you know. And they went to the book of Revelation 13 and totally botched that up. So Lord's will, we're going to go through it to give you a little clarity. The elder went through some stuff. I watched, I forget about how much of the video I watched it. He was going into it. But I said, you know what, let me just jump on it, strike while the iron's hot, and get into it. So we're just going to go in the spirit. So I'm going to play a little bit of it. And then, but by the time they get into Revelation 13, then I'm going to hit, before they do that, I want to hit another precept and then go back. So listen up. And he's correct. The Levites were the high priests at the time, but the priesthood itself, all of the nation of Israel, even in the Old Testament, in the law, it says that all of the men are going to be priests. You know, all of the men of the tribe, different tribes, because the first priesthood was Melchizedek, who was not of the Levitical priesthood. The Levitical priesthood was set up as a temporary thing, you know, to lead us to Yahushai, to be able to get back to the Most High. All right. The book of Hebrews goes into the that whole book is dynamic. It's dynamite, as High Priest Jacob used to say, which I heard about it. I never actually heard him say that, but I believe it, you know.
But you can't be high priest. You're a female. Can I be an Israelite? Yes.
Which she said, can I be an Israelite? He said yes, and he's correct, depending on where her line goes back to. Now, if her line goes back to Edomite or whatever other nation, no, she cannot be an Israelite. This is not a spiritual thing. This is a spiritual thing in the sense of the scriptures are spiritual, but as far as being an Israelite, it has to be a physical thing, whether male or female.
Now look, for the camera. You're only going to be mad and say, why you tell that white woman she could be an Israelite? She can't. I don't know what that woman is. I don't know what nation she comes from.
Which, that's true. And we've been saying that for years. And nobody else spoke about that. You know, this is the first Israelite group outside of Great Millstone that I've actually heard say that. So obviously they learned that from us, because this was not something that was really outwardly taught at One West. You know, if I'm wrong, the apostles can correct me on that. But I don't ever believe I've ever heard that outside of, you know, the apostles, you know, Apostle Tar, Apostle Bar, Apostle Rakah. You know, I don't ever remember hearing anybody teaching that. Because if it looked like an Edomite, it's an Edomite. Inside joke. All right, so let me get this precept and then we're going to move on. 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and let's go to the 9th verse. It says, for we are laborers together with the Most High. Ye are the Most High's husbandry, ye are the Most High's building. So we are that building. There is a set way that the Lord set it up to be taught. The Lord is very particular how he likes everything. He told Moses, make sure that when you build the tabernacle, you build it to the specifications that I gave you. Build it just as I showed it to you. because the Most High is very particular when it comes to details. It says, according to the grace of the Most High, which is given unto me as a wise master builder. Right. And the Apostle Paul was a wise master builder. He knew how to build from the foundation up, spiritually. I have laid the foundation, and another man buildeth thereon. Right? But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon. Right, so you got to be careful how you build upon another man's foundation. For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Yahushua Hamashiach, because ultimately Yahushua is the word, which means this is Yahushua's doctrine. Now, if any man build, well, that goes into something else, but that's the point. Be careful how you build upon another man's foundation. And I believe there's another precept that says it that way, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it's this one, and I'm just jumbling the words up a little bit. Just bear with me. Let me see if I can see if that comes up. Nope, I guess not. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, no. So I that was the one. So let's go back, because now they taught that correct, which we teach. But now let's go into the next phase of, because see, these guys, they take what they like, they use it, and they discard the rest. It doesn't work like that. As the elder was going into the book of Ezekiel, the Lord said, eat the roll and go teach the house of Israel. You got to eat the whole roll. This is why the Apostle Paul came back and said, when you want to be a teacher, you got to go back to the basics. You got to go back and be retaught, because you obviously are missing something. So you have to go back to the drawing board, as they say. So let's listen up.
You would be contradicting yourself, because we believe that Blake Griffin's children are Israelites, and Drake's son is.
Yeah, and we've been using that example about Blake Griffin. We've been using that. So it shows you that these individuals been watching, but then they'll take what they like and they'll discard the rest. Because like I said, nobody out there that I know of any camp has ever taught this except for Great Millstone, which is a good thing. It's good because at the end of the day, it's the truth. So are we happy that they're teaching it? Yes, because it is the truth.
Israelite, right? But both of those sets of children got blonde hair, blue eyes. Right.
They're Israelites that look like you. Absolutely.
And look like Asian people and look like East Indian people.
Now let's go into the botchery.
It says he calls it how many?
All.
He calls it all, right? So we about to see who this all is. Let's get Revelation 18:3. Notice it's talking about all nations and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, which is the Babylon.
Well, first of all, that has nothing to do with the buying and selling. Fornication is dealing with the religious part of the system, their democracy, that alphabet people lifestyle. That's all a part of that. That has nothing to do with the buying and selling part.
America. All right. So let's go back to Revelation. Matter of fact, let's get
in the right hand or in the forehead.
So people get confused and think this is individuals.
It is individuals.
They all are.
Look, let's go real quick. Back to Revelation, back to the basics of Revelation 13, which we've gone to this. I mean, this got to be the most topic that has ever been covered in Great Millstone, the MOTB. Revelation 13:16, he calls it all, both small and great, and he's going to break this down wrong. Matter of fact, I had thought of a scripture earlier. Let me bring it up now that it came back again. So when we get to it, we can get to it, if you know what I mean. It says, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no what man might buy or sell. No, that's not talking about individuals.
They all are not individuals.
See what it said there, man, right? Did it not? Matter of fact, is that Revelation 16? But bear with me 1 second. And you're gonna like this one when they're gonna reference a particular source that they're gonna go to so-called prove their point. Let's see. Right. That's one of them. Let me see. Is there another one? Okay, this is the one. Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, then it says the same shall drink of the wine of the cup of the Lord's wrath. When you go to that word man there, okay, this one doesn't have it. This one doesn't have it. There was another one. Let me see. Is it Revelation 16? That one doesn't have it. Let me see something. Just bear with me 1 second. Right, Revelation 16:2. This is the one. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the what? The men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. Now, when you look up the word men here, I thought it was in another. I thought it was here. Men. The word for men is right there, anthropos. Anthropos, which is what? Anthropology, the study of man. A human being, whether male or female. Oh no, it's not talking about individuals. Well, it just said here the men that received that mark. So he's wrong there. And when he went to the Greek charagma, he botched that up. So let's go back.
I'm gonna give you an example right here. It says, and he calls all both small and great. So ask yourself, what is that small and great? If this is talking about regular individual people, what does small and great pertain to?
It's talking about those that are insignificant and those that are significant. And how do we prove that? When we go to the book of Obadiah, chapter 1. Is it 1? Yeah, and 2. Behold, I have made thee what? Small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Now the word small there does not mean, does not mean that they were just a little bit in number. The word small there means that they're insignificant. Let's go to the word small. The word there is kotan, which is the word for small. Young, small, and insignificant. See? Unimportant. And that's what it means. So that goes into what? Small and great goes into the significant ones and the insignificant ones. All right? The small are the insignificant. The great are the significant. Let's see what it says here. Small is mikros, where you get the word micro, which is small. Small, little, of size, hence of stature, of length, of space, of age, less by birth. See? The more insignificant ones, like the slave. Younger, of time, short, brief, a little while, of quantity and number, amount, of rank or influence. Dignity, see? So small in dignity. Least, see? Not as far as amount, but as far as the prestigious status, so to speak, for lack of better words. All right? So let's go back. So when the Lord said, I have made thee small among the heathen, not that they were the least of the people on the planet, but that they are the despised, the insignificant ones, That's what it's talking about. So back in, let's go back here.
It don't pertain to fat and skinny. It don't pertain to tall and short.
Significant and insignificant.
It don't pertain to money because the next after the comment it says rich and poor. So what is the small and great?
Insignificant and significant.
Nations.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It don't say nations there. You add into the scriptures, my man. You're doing what the bishop did at one time. Now he's going into something else. He's talking about sin in all its form, whether religious or political. One time he was saying the same thing you were saying. So that means you hijacked that part of your teaching from the IUIC. You hijacked the first part of teaching that the Israel could look like the other nations from Great Millstone, and you're snatching that part of this talking about the nations from the IUIC. Come on, man. You can't just make a hodgepodge of knowledge and just slap it together. You're no different than the black conscious community. Let me see something. Hodgepodge meaning. Let's see what it says. Hodgepodge. A confused mixture. God damn. See, so you got a hodgepodge, a confused mixture of your breakdowns. But I want you to listen to what he references, though. I want you to hear what he references.
You niggas is doggone wicked. We got the 100% truth over here.
Read.
What's wrong with that? Well, let's prove it. Let's prove that we got the 100% truth. You niggas is... That might be the guy that was on the comment board yesterday. I was cursing out this catfish woman. She looked like hell. I said she looked like the back of a bull's nutsack, and I said she looked like a crusty gangrene toenail. And he got up, you niggas is wicked. That might have been the same dude. What was I gonna get? Oh yeah, 100% truth. Let's get it. Okay, I could use that one. 100% truth. Let's start off with 1 John chapter 2 and verse 20. But you have an unction from the Holy One, and you know all things. See? Did Yahushua have 100% truth? Absolutely. Let's listen up. St. John 16:15. All things, this is Yahushua speaking. Matter of fact, let's go to the red edition, the red letter. All things that the Father hath are mine. Therefore said I that I shall take of mine and shall show it unto you. So the Lord gave him all. Matter of fact, let's go to Revelation. Got Revelation on the brain. John 3, St. John 3, and 34, I believe it is. Right here. St. John 3:30, that's what it was. For he whom the Most High hath sent speaketh the words of Yahweh. For Yahweh giveth not the Spirit by measure unto him. So he gave him everything. The whole enchilada and the sauce on the side. All right? So that's what? 100% truth. And what did he do? St. John 16:15. All things that the Father hath are mine. Therefore said I that he shall take of mine and shall show it unto thee. This is why also Yahushua prayed. St. John 17 and 20. I started 20. Neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word. What is that? The 100% that the Father gave him, that he gave to his disciples. The disciples became apostles. The disciples that became apostles taught other men, and that word spread. That same 100% truth he showed to the Apostle Paul, and the Apostle Paul taught other men also. So we have 100% truth, my man. Stop being so emotional. You niggas is wicked. Why? Because we tell you the truth? Let's go back. Let me see if 1 John 2:20, but you have an unction from the Holy One, and you know all things. All means all.
The merchants again, they weeping and mourning. Keep going.
For no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
No man do what?
No man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
That's the buying and selling.
That's the book of Revelation 18. All right, that's a different book, my man. That right there has nothing to do with the matter of fact. What verse is that? Why are they not going to be able to buy? Because America is going to be destroyed. Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed. See, these guys, they're being like vocab. They're being slick. Let's read the context. Revelation 18:9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Hey, where's the IT at, man? You know, I'm gonna have to set up the Elder Manat Zakba in the background with a IT as an IT with a board. So every time, you know, we speak on certain thing, he can hit the button. You can have these explosions and now I'm just joking. You know, when they shall see the smoke of her burning. So why? So let's read on. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, and America was not in hell; they were burnt up. Saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. You were destroyed. So because of this great destruction that happened upon this great land, this great lake of fire, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Come on, man. Stop doing what vocab does, man. You guys are being very deceptive. And you have the simpletons that's going to follow you. Oh, man, see, I knew them niggas was going off. No man buy or sell. That's what they're talking about, buying and selling, man. They ain't talking about men, and they ain't talking about women or individuals or, you know. This is totally different. The reason why they're not going to be able to buy or sell is because America is going to be totally annihilated. No stock market, no stores, no wholesale districts. No, none of that. You're not going to be able to go to the grocery store. You're not going to be able to go to the clothing store, retail store. You ain't going to be able to go to the Home Depots and your Costco's and your BJ's or Walmart's or anything like that. Why? You ain't going to be able to go to a restaurant. Why? Because America's going to be totally burnt up. That's why no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Because there's no place to buy it at. It's on fire. So let's go back. But check out the resource that they use. And they used it wrong. They're not equipped to use this resource.
No man do what?
No man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
That's the buying and selling. Is this Mark? Let's get
No, it's not.
Let's get
the what? That's not talking about the mark. And then he said what? Let's get the what? The blue letter. Now, to be honest, you know, the blue letter don't belong to Great Millstone. We're not the authors of that, and it doesn't belong to us. But the Spirit of the Lord revealed it first to Elder Apostle Tahar, and we've been the main ones that's been using the blue letter Bible for years. All right? Now you have these individuals. Give me the blue letter Bible, like they just came up with it. Do you even have Christians going to the blue letter Bible now? You know? Ain't that about it something? Hey, but you know, as Elder Apostle Gabar always says, this is a thankless job. Because here it is, you put in the work through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem El Shai. You put in all the hard work to get everything, you know, put out there through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem El Shai, through the Holy Spirit, of course. and then other people just come in and take it and act like they came up with it. And the poor man, the bum, he doesn't get any credit for it. Ain't that about it something? But that's why the reward is not with man. It's with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So all we're going to do is keep pushing it along. Lord's will, he give us a continuously feed us and give us the inspiration to do so. And I want to give props to the brother, you know, the elder Karadazaba. That brother, man, he got some hell of patience, man. You know, I mean other brothers too that do it, but I'm just giving him an honorary mention because that brother, he goes and he's painstakingly goes through these videos, and you know, the Lord got a hell of a spirit on him to do that. You know, and then this is why we're able to get, you know, different. And I'm not saying other brothers don't do it, but I'm giving him an honorary mention. When a man shines, let the man shine, goddammit. Well, I do that too, brother. Yeah, but it's his turn to shine, not yours. Don't be like Element. You know? Element just couldn't stand anyone getting shine, and he's not a part of it. You know, I hate to mention it, but that's the first person that came to mind when I thought about that. If a man's getting, getting a mention, an honorary mention, let him get the mention, goddammit. Yeah, you know, me too. I did it too, brother. I do it too. So what? But we talking about this man now. You know? Let the man shine, man. Like at that Passover, I forgot what year that was. You know, the elder Monaghan came down, and he was reading the Hebrew for all of us. It was his night to shine. You know, what element? Nope, he can't have a shine. I got to have a piece of that shine. He got up there and botched the Hebrew up. It was embarrassing. All because he didn't want to let this man get his shine. He was reading for all of us. He read for Apostle Tahar, for Apostle Gabar, he read for myself, you know, for all the bishops. But when it came time for him to read, he wouldn't allow the man to read, and he botched it up. Let another man shine, man. Let him get his glory when it's time for him to get his glory. When you get your glory, then you get your glory. Yeah, I just had to say that. But they're going to the Blue Letter Bible. Where they get that from? They got that from Elder Apostle Tahar.
Man, if I put Revelation 13 and 16
now watch. He's going to botch this up.
And then hit the tools and go to Mark.
Hit the tools and go to Mark.
That's it. Click on that. Alright, scroll down. Well, it says charagma, right? Charagma. What does charagma mean, right? The first one says a stamp. Mm-hmm. An imprinted mark.
Yep.
Now understand this, Johnny. Understand this. A lot of people have the understanding that the RFID chip, which has to be, you have to be cut open and inserted.
And it does say that. But they can't get it
into your skin.
And that's exactly what happens. Let's listen in on Mr. Butcher use wicked gymnastics to fit his doctrine. Unbelievable. And I'm sure the elder covered all this in the video. I didn't watch the whole video. I watched part of it. But you know, I had just finished making my juice. So I said, you know what, let me just jump on this right away while the iron is hot, you know? So let's go. Excuse me. And the way that they're making it seem, the way they're making it seem is like you just have to have this super major surgery. You have to have a brain surgeon come in, then you have to have a rocket scientist come in, then you have to have, you know, somebody, you know, an architect to come in, you know, a body architect. You got to have, you know, all these different specialists come in to do this one impossible surgery of inserting a micro C-hip into somebody's hand or their forehead. Now the forehead part is more intricate, but the hand part is not. But he's making it seem like, oh, that's got a major. Another guy, I don't know what group he was from. I don't know if that was the IUIC or one of them other groups. He said, yeah, you know how expensive surgery is? First of all, to get that procedure done is probably about $100. You know, and you know, possibly a little bit more for the actual device. You know, I don't know what the going rate is today. It's not that expensive. And when the time comes, they're going to be offering this. Just like they gave you the Obama phones, they give you certain things. What do you think that's about? It's about tricking the people to accept this thing. You see? So a lot of people are going to get it because they're going to have it, it's going to be a voluntary thing. Now, some people that got money will get it done, which it's not going to cost much. But the one that goes in the brain, which not everybody's going to get it in the brain, is the ones that have mental disabilities, that have deficiencies, degenerate diseases, that are incapacitated, paraplegics, people that have lost use of certain limbs in their body or certain motions of their body. They'll be able to use that to be able to control those parts of the body that they weren't able to. And if they can't control those parts of the body, then guess what? They'll be able to navigate, on the web with their mind, with their brain, without having to use their limbs. See? And it's all over the place. Believers of the Way is the group that said it. Damn demons. Okay, the water, brother. See, man? That's what I'm talking about. Now, this brother, too, he be on it. Believers of the Way. See, and I don't have the greatest memory to remember all them different details. Some brothers, look at that. $200, check it out. $200 for a C-hip delivery, $100 for implantation. So $300. That's nothing. Most people could afford that. Now, people that are homeless, of course, they're not going to be able to afford that. But guess what? You're going to have those that are going to have those free programs that these individuals that are less fortunate, so to speak, are going to get. And to water to you, brothers, for fact checking.
Be cut open and inserted into your skin.
Mm-hmm.
So the understanding that a lot of people have is you have to get this RFID inside you,
right?
Which you have to be cut and something inserted in you.
That's right.
For that to be the case. Now let's look at these definitions. It's this outline of biblical usage. A stamp, that's not a cut.
No, but not every what's the word I'm looking for? Not every physical thing shown had to be something cut into you. But in other cases there was. You could have a tattoo, that's a stamp. You could have a branding, that's another mark. Then you had the one that was inserting, which is in these times now. And that goes back to ancient Oriental, biblical, and custom uses from back in the ancient world.
An imprinted mark, that's not a cut. Of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist.
A what? A badge? Matter of fact, you know what? Before, let's go to it. Let's go to the word charagma. Because where is that? There's another one. Just bear with me 1 second. Okay, cool.
All right. The mark branded upon horses. What's a brand? When you take that heat and put the seal on it.
That's
not the seal, but the brand. You put a symbol on it, right? It says things carved.
Right.
Things carved. See, he's just trying to run right by that one. Things carved. Well, let's go to that. Let's go to Acts 17. Let me see if I can find it this way real quick. In the entrance of time. Inside joke. Okay. Acts 17:29. For as much then as we are the offspring of the Most High, we ought not to think that the power head is like unto gold or silver or stone, graven by art and man's device. What is a graving tool? A graving tool would be a chisel. Bear with me 1 second. Let me just dry off my feet. Bear with me, Abakashah. So you would use a chisel, different types of chisel, not Shirley Chisholm. Inside joke, Salaki. I'm not an inside joke, just a corny joke. All right. Ooh, my goodness. Okay. So that's what you use. A chisel is used to carve or to cut into. Notice he said graven, but he quickly just ran right by that one. Now when we go to that word graven, what do you have? Lo and behold, the word karagma. The word karagma. Graven. Thing carved. Sculpture. Graven work. You know, how do you cut into stone and wood? Well, you would have to use certain chisels, a certain type of, you know, there's a certain chisel for, you have wood chisels, then you had certain chisels or different, you know, instruments to cut into stone and cut into, you know, diamonds and different things, you know.
That thing, a Salakia, that thing, when you brand it, okay, is seared.
Yeah. And not every identification of a master was branded or seared into an individual. It was not always there was not just always a tattoo or a branding like that. You also had piercings. All right, let me just get this real quick because I want to show you something. Now, when you go back, and I don't even think he touched the karaks. When you go to the word karaks, this is a trench. It says to sharpen to a point. Then it goes to grapho through the idea of scratching, because you got to cut into, you know, and it tells you what it is. Then you go to grapho, you know, and it breaks it all down. But another key component in this MARK is the number of the beast. Matter of fact, let me go forward. Let me go down here. Let me go to Revelation 13. And let me go to the 18th verse. Here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603, which is 666. It breaks down to the Greek word, letters chi psi stigma. Now, when you go to chi psi stigma, it doesn't really say much, you know, as far as this here, 660 and 6, the meaning of which is basis of much vain speculation, blah, 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 blah. Then here it says the 22nd, 14th, and an obsolete letter, stigma, as a cross of the Greek alphabet, intermediate between the, you know. So the word stigma, when you go to it, it says what stigma? From a primary stizo, to stick, an example, prick. What does it mean to stick or to prick? Let's look up the word stizo, see what it says. And not Stizo, the fly Negro from New Haven. Okay, it doesn't say anything. Let's see if we put in meaning. Etymology, from an ancient Greek root, stig, from the root of stizo, I mark, or mark. See? Now, let's go back. And let's go to the word stick. You know, you're going to get different, you know, definitions, because stick, you know, play stick. A thin piece of wood. No, we don't want that. A long, thin piece of something. Let's see, what else have we got? See more. Short piece of wood. Mass, a piece of basic furniture, a long thin piece of something, conductor's baton, great, severe criticism, stick, push a sharp or pointed object in or through something. See, that's what that's talking about, stick. Then you have the word prick. Prick. Make a small hole in something with a sharp point. Pierce slightly. And even when you get a tattoo uses a small needle that cuts into your skin to deliver the ink underneath your skin. Very simple. So here when we go to the definition of the word stigma, a mark pricked in or branded upon the body. Right. Because when we read about the charagma, right? When we read about the charagma, oops, now I want to keep that. When we read about the charagma, I want to go back to that, so let me, just bear with me 1 second. When we read about the charagma, right? Let's go to the word charagma. We read a stamp or a stamp, an imprinted mark, imprint, cut into, of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as a what? Badge. See, because that's going to be that badge, just like a slave pass, badge. See, that's like a slave pass, but this badge is going to be inserted, and that badge once inserted, which is the micro C hip, is what? That would give ownership, pretty much a forever ownership of the master to the slave. So when we go back here, this is the word for stigma, a mark pricked in or branded upon the body. To ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander, branded or pricked, cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belong to. Because the branding would cut, that would be seared. That's a hot sear, which actually does cut into your skin. Then you had the stizo, which would actually cut into your skin. If you had a tattoo, that would actually cut into your skin. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods. Now, when we go to Exodus 21:6, then his master shall bring him unto the judge. And this is dealing with the individual that doesn't want to leave his master because he loves his wife. And if you have a master and if you have a master, right, and the master gives you a wife and you have children with that wife, guess what? When you leave, that master would keep the wife and children because they belong to him. So if you wanted to, you loved your wife and your children and you wanted to stay, you would have to go through a certain procedure, which is the ancient MARK or the ancient way to be branded as a servant for life. So Exodus 21:6, then his master shall bring him unto the judge. Verse 5, and if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Then his master, so he had the chance after 6 years to go and to start his own thing. But the problem is that the master gave him a wife. He had children with that wife, and that wife and the children are the master's property. So when he leaves, he has to go out by himself, go out free. He can't take his wife or his children with him. Now, if he came in with a woman and they had children, then they can go out together. But if the master gave him the wife and the children, then he had to go out by himself. This is biblical proof that child support is wicked. Because these women belong to the state. We are all slaves to the state. Through what? Through our birth certificates, through our social security numbers. And the elder Malcolm, the spirit got on him heavy to go into what's called the Title IV, which is what the child support thing is all predicated upon, and that's totally wicked. And they're giving him a hard time to give him a judgment because they know once the judgment goes in, which is correct and right, all the men that are on child support, and few women, that there's a couple of women on child support, they would be able to get off of that thing using this particular, court case. You see? So it says, then his master shall bring him unto the judge. He shall also bring him to the door, or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore. What does it mean to bore? To drill his ear through with a what? With an awl, and he shall serve him forever. So these devils understand that once this MARK, this micro C-hip is inserted into people's hand or forehead, they become a slave for life. All right? They make the international bankers their gods. And their owners forever. Now, let's look up a couple of these words. Let's look up the word bore. And before I read that word bore, I want to show you something, because an awl, ancient way of saying awl was, or spelling it was AUL. But the new way is AWL, as you see here. Let me just type in AWL. And it looks like a what? Like an ice pick. And what was it used for? To cut into. Like you see people using, certain devices to cut into ice. They create different, structures from ice. They'll certain, dragon or lion or tiger or something to make it out of ice. They had to use something to carve into it. That's what the carving part is all about. So this, which looks similar to the delivery system of the micro C-hip, this is how the piercing goes under the skin. So this will be actually taken and bored through the man's ear. All right. So the word for bore, where are we? I thought we were Karagma. Where is? Okay, ratazai. Ratazai is to bore, pierce of the ear. See, when you get a piercing in the ear, what happens? You got to puncture a hole in it. Let's look up the word bore. It says to make a hole in something, especially with a revolving tool. See? Then you have different mechanisms. You have stuff that you use that you can bore a hole through doors, so you can make your notches in the doors and all that, to put in your hardware to lock, open and lock it, the whole mechanism, different cylinders and all that stuff, right? So that's what the word bore is, ratazai. And then you have the word all, maratazai, which is of boring. So the all was the tool that was used to cut into. So the word for bore, to drill, to cut in, is ratazai, and the word for all, the mechanism used, is ratazai, which means of boring or of drilling. Okay? A woman asked a question. She said, I have a question. What do I, if you have a false teacher? Well, if you have a false teacher, you got to leave that false teacher. Pray to the Lord to get away from that individual, and then, come to the right place. That's all you got to do. Why would you want to stay, where there's a false teacher? If you know there's a false teacher, then obviously the Lord is revealing something to you. So run away from them. Run as fast as you can. And at the end of the day, you got to pray to the Lord to lead you in the right direction. Obviously, you've been praying for something. You ended up here. So, if the Spirit is moving you to be here and to learn, then learn. But one thing is, we don't have, I understand you asked a question, you don't know. But for women to just be on the comment board, just running their mouth, we don't tolerate that. Not saying that you're doing that. I'm just letting you know the rules, sister. All right. So I'm just, mentioning that to you so you could know. But the Spirit led you here for a reason. Obviously, you've been praying about something, and you actually see that you're under a false teacher. So you got to get away from it. And that corrupted my spirit. I'm a male, brother. Okay, well, you got the name Gladys, my brother. So my apologies. You have the name Gladys on your account. So I thought it was a woman. So my apologies. So hey, you just gotta keep obviously the Lord led you to the real watering hole, but you have to. The scriptures say, "Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind." Let's go to that real quick. As they say, you could lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. This is Romans 14:4. 5. One man esteemeth one day above another, another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. And after all, and at the end of the day, bottom line, I believe that's Acts 17 chapter. You have to be like the Bereans, be Berean minded. You hear somebody say something, you go and you research it. And if you satisfied, if the Spirit leads you to be satisfied with the result, then you found your place. If not, then I don't know what to tell you. You may be a child tossed to and fro, or you may have been led to the right place, So that's it. So you have to be persuaded in your own mind, fully persuaded, not a little persuaded, fully persuaded. That's why you have to be like the Bereans. The Bereans believed the Apostle Paul, but they went back and checked everything that he said and make sure that what he said was correct. And that was the right mindset to have. As the saying goes, trust but verify. One more is 1 John chapter 4 and verse 1. It says, Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of the Most High, because many false prophets are going out into the world. So at the end of the day, if you're a part of the elect, you're going to continue on in the truth. If you're not a part of the elect, there's nothing you could do. But if the Spirit is searching, then that means you know that something is wrong. So that's a good sign. The scriptures also say in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9 and verse 4, it says, And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, meaning the Jerusalem here is a representation of the men of Israel, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So obviously something in your spirit is sick and tired of seeing what's going on. And I'm sure, you've seen, these pork chop eating preachers and these poverty pimp, preachers that are, lying to the people and making merchandise of them. And you see the condition of the world. You see this alphabet lifestyle, which are the happy people, the gay, and that something ain't right. You see the women acting like men acting like women. I'm sure you see all this going on. So something in your spirit is crying out. So hopefully, you continue on this thing, and grow, as the scriptures say. And as the brother posted here, 2 Timothy 2:15, study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Right. And above all, you have to study. Pray and study. And watch. All right, so with that, pretty much, you brothers get the gist of it. We covered that, So this guy is very deceptive. These individuals, they're very deceptive. They go to a scripture talking about after the destruction of America, no man's going to buy or sell. That's talking about the MARK. It's not. You are off. So with that, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. To the next time I say, Shalom.